Everybody's on a lead. You're either on a lead physically or you're on a lead psychologically. And if you try to break that lead, if you try to say, I do not want to do what you want me to do, and by the way, again, I know that people think I'm pulling this out of the air, so here again, take a simple test. Go for just 3 days. And when I say go for it, I mean you're really going to have to do it now. And when somebody asks you to do something for them, just say, no, I don't want to help you. I don't want to do that. Now, what you've just done there is exercise a selfish action. And it's a perfectly logical and normal philosophical and philosophical state to be in, where you do not want to help anybody else. And see what will happen to the... Just observe it. Now you're a scientist in a laboratory. I'm not telling anybody to do anything that they wouldn't do in a laboratory. But just make your life the laboratory for 3 days and simply turn down helping anybody else. And you're not doing it maliciously. You're not doing it because you are cold-hearted. You're doing it as an experiment to find out what will happen if you operate from yourself. That is, don't assist somebody else in doing something. Let them do it themselves. In fact, even by people listening to me what I'm saying, their minds are going crazy because there are all these thoughts about, well, that means I'm cold-hearted, but I really want to do things for people. Saying that will go against the grain of what I want, because as a self, I do want to help other people. We're into a complete second and third chapter miasma to even bring up the point of saying no, because in some South American countries, they actually have that. There's people who live like that, where if they say, could you help me, mow the garden today? The friend will say, no, I'm not interested in doing that. I just want to sit here. And that's considered normal. Nobody interferes. Yeah. The Inca or the Quechua people, I think, they have this rule where it says, fine, they understand that you want to be in your own space and be private. And there's no violation of that privacy. Today, there's not even the question of privacy. There's not even the question of it. It is a complete talismanic word that has no validity at all. And we are the first ones to break it down. We are the first ones who don't even know what a private act is. And if you try a little experiment like what I've described, which is basically simply just the act of establishing a privacy, watch the living chaos. And then come back to me and tell me that love rules the world. The moment that you assert one iota of privacy or selfhood and watch the reactions of people, it is not love, nor does the feeling that you have for yourself love. It is criticism, it is scathing, it is self-sadistic, and it is also repressive. It's repressive to yourself and it's suppressive from other people. Do it yourself. Do the experiment and you will see that love plays almost no role in our social conditionings except on a very superficial level. And that's where we need to go. That's what we need to understand.
You mean like a moral obligation?
You bet. A moral obligation is not love. The constant violation of a self is not love. Now, we call it love, and we call it duty, and we call it obligation. It is not love. It is not self-love. And all other kinds of true love, including divine love, come from self-love. If you don't love the self, you certainly can't love anyone and anybody else. And those are the hardcore facts that are never going to change, no matter what philosophical school arises in the world, no matter what religion, no matter what rubbish people tell themselves through the whole of their life. Those simple facts never change. They're inviolate. The man who doesn't love himself cannot love anything or anyone else. And that's another step that people need to understand. But I just boil it down to simple tests that you can do, purely experimentally. And the reactions that you will see from other people when they actually think that you're holding to yourself are not ever, except in extraordinary circumstances where people go, they have that true respect for your boundary. And try to do it. Try to find out who's got respect for your boundary, or do you have respect for other people's boundaries. And people, all these superficial, stupid, idiotic lies that we tell ourselves about, love and brotherhood will just crumble to the ground. That's when you do the real homework and you really find out what these human relationships are based on.